Sorry for the disturbance. Typically, high frequency semiconductor materials include silicon, germanium, and compound semiconductors. So such as gallium, arsenide, GaAs, indium phosphate, silicon germanium, silicon carbide, and gallium nitride. So all these materials are designed including silicon, germanium, and some compound semiconductors. So with the help of those materials, we will be able to design all these typical high frequency semiconductors. So in general, the compound semiconductors work best for high frequency applications. So due to their higher electron mobilities, Coming to passive devices. So you need to take a best example for passive devices is a pin. Pin means P or N type. P type or intrinsic or N type. So this pin diode is a PN diode that has an undoped region between the P and N type regions. So between these two regions, no need to do doping. So which means that which is undoped between these two regions, P and N regions. You need to remember. The uses of an undoped region or intrinsic region in PN diode or PIN diode allows for high power operation and offers an impedance at microwave frequencies. A high power operation and which is offers an impedance at microwave frequencies. So that is controlled by a lower frequency of direct current bias, DC bias, which will be controlled. Okay. The PIN diode or the PN diode is one of the most common passive diodes, which is used at microwave frequencies. The PN diode is one of the most common passive diodes and which is used at microwave frequencies. The PN diode are used to switch length of the transmission line, providing digital increments of phase in individual transmission paths, each capable of carrying kilowatts of peak power. The PN diodes are used to switch lengths of the transmission line, which providing digital increments of phase in individual transmission paths, each capable of carrying kilowatts of peak power. The PN diodes come in a variety of packages for microstrips and stripline packages and are used as microwave switches, modulators, attenuators, limiters, phase shifters, protectors, and other signal control circuit elements. These are comes in a variety of packages. So those packages are just you need to remember strips, micro strips, and stripline packages, and which are used as a microwave switches, modulators, attenuators, limiters, phase shifters, protectors, and other signal control circuit elements. A Schottky barrier diode (SBD) consists of a rectifying metal semiconductor barrier, typically formed by deposition of a metal, deposition of a metal layer on semiconductor. A semiconductor. ASBD function. ASBD functions in a similar manner to the antiquated point contact diode and the slower response PN junction diode, and which is used for signal mixing and detection. We already discussed this point. So the point contact diode, coming to here, the new word is point contact diode. The point contact diode consists of a metal whisker in contact with a semiconductor, forming a rectifying junction. Forming a rectifying junction. The SBD is more rugged and reliable than the point contact diode. And the SBD's main advantage over PN diodes is the absence of minority carriers, which limit the response speed in switching applications, and the high frequency performance in mixing and detecting applications. One minute now. The SBDs are zero bias detectors, and the frequency is 240 gigahertz are available with the silicon SBDs, and the gallium arsenide SBDs are used for higher frequency applications. Higher frequency applications. The variable reactants are called like a varactor. This diode makes use of the change in capacitance of a PN junction, a Schottky barrier diode, and which is designed to be highly dependent on the applied reverse bias. And the capacitance change results from a winding of the depletion layer as the reverse bias voltage is increased. If you change the capacitance, if you increase the reverse bias voltage means what will happen? The capacitance change results from a winding of the depletion layer as the reverse bias voltage is increased. As a variable capacitors, varactor diodes, these two are used in tuned circuits. Variable capacitors and varactor diodes are used in tuned circuits and in voltage controlled oscillators. VCOs. For high frequency microwave applications, silicon varactors have been replaced with gallium arsenide. For high frequency microwave applications, silicon varactors have been replaced with a gallium arsenide. Typical applications of varactor diodes. Typical applications of varactor diodes are harmonic generation, frequency multiplications, parametric amplification, and electronic tuning. So in these typical applications, so the varactor diodes are harmonic generation, frequency multiplication, parametric amplification, and electric tuning. So the multipliers are used as a local oscillators in that. For low power transmitters or transmitter drivers in radar, telemetry, telecommunication, and instrumentation. So you need to use the multipliers in this regions. Power transmitters, transmitter drivers in radar, telemetry, telecommunication, and instrumentation. Coming to active devices, still we discussed only passive device. Now we are going to discussing about passive. Now we are going to discussing passive devices. Sorry, active devices. So what are the best example for active devices? Transistors. So the transistors are the most widely used active microwave solid state device. So most probably we will prepare only transistors as a microwave solid state devices. So at a very high micro frequencies, high frequency effect limit the usefulness of transistors and two terminal negative resistance devices such as transferred electron devices, avalanche diodes, and tunnel diodes are sometimes used for very high microwave frequencies. So two main categories of transistors are used for microwave applications. Two main categories of transistors are used for microwave applications. The first one is bipolar junction transistor, which means that BJTs, and field effect transistors, FET. These two are main categories of transistors are used for microwave applications. So in order to get useful output power, at high frequencies, transistors are designed to have a higher periphery to area ratio using a simple strip geometry. The area must be reduced without reducing the peripheral or periphery, as large area means large inter-electrode capacitance. For high frequency applications, the goal is to scale down the size of the device. Narrower bandwidths of the elements within the transistors are the key to superior high frequency performance. A BJT consists of three doped regions forming two p-n junctions. You need to remember, a BJT consists of three doped regions forming two p-n junctions. These regions are emitter, bias, or base, and collector. We have three doped regions, right, which are forming two p-n junctions. So these regions are emitter, base, and collector. So in either an NPN or PNP arrangement, whatever it is, we have two p-n junctions. One is the NPN or PNP arrangements, whatever it is. You need to remember that concepts from the EDC subject. Let us assume if we have a silicon NPN BJTs. The silicon NPN BJTs have an upper cutoff frequency of about 25 gigahertz, which means that which will be varies with the manufacturing improvements. The cutoff frequency is defined as, what is the definition of cutoff frequency? Cutoff frequency is defined as the frequency at which the current amplification drops to unity as the frequency raised. The primary limitations to higher frequency are base and emitter resistance, capacitance, and transit time. So these are the primary limitations: base and emitter resistance, capacitance, and transit time. These are the primary limitations to higher frequencies. So to operate at microwave frequencies, individual transistor dimensions must be reduced to micrometer or sub-micrometer size. If you want to operate at microwave frequency range, means the individual transistor dimensions must be reduced to micrometer or sub-micrometer size. So to maintain current and power capability for various forms of internal paralleling on the chip are used. Three of these geometries are interdigitated fingers that form the emitter and base, the overlaying of emitter and base strips, and the matrix approach. The silicon BJTs are used in the lower microwave ranges. Why? Means their power capability is quite good, but in terms of noise, they are inferior to gallium arsenide metal semiconductor. They are inferior to gallium arsenide metal semiconductor field, which affect transistor at frequencies above 1 GHz and are mainly used in power amplifiers and oscillators. They may be also be used in small signal microwave amplifiers when noise performance is not critical. The heterojunction bipolar transistors, HBDs, have been designed with much higher maximum frequency than silicon BJTs. The heterojunction bipolar transistors are essentially BJTs that have two or more materials making up the emitter, bias, and collector regions. In HBDs, the major goal is to limit the injection of holes into the emitter by using an emitter material with a larger band gap than the base. Coming to the difference in band gaps, manifests itself as a discontinuity in the conduction band or the valence band, or sometimes both. For NPN HBDs, a discontinuity in the valence band is required. In general, to make high quality heterojunctions, the two materials should have matching lattice constants. For very thin layers, the lattice matching is not absolutely necessary, as the thin layer can be strained to accommodate the crystal lattice of the other material. Fortunately, the base of bipolar transistor is designed to be very thin, thus can be made of strained layer material. The combination of such as aluminum gallium arsenide or indium gallium arsenide and silicon or silicon germanium are possible. So the field effect transistors FETs will be operated by varying the conductivity of a semiconductor channel through changes in the electric field across the channel. The three bias forms of FETs are the junction FET, the metal semiconductor FET, and the metal oxide semiconductor FET, which means that it's JFET, MESFET, MESFET, MOSFET. So these are the three basic forms of FETs. You need to remember JFET, MESFET, MOSFET. Junction field, emitter transmitter, metal semiconductor field, emitter transmitter. Next, metal oxide semiconductor field emitter transistor. So all these FETs have channel with a source and drain region at each end and a gate located along the channel which modulate the channel conduction. And the microwave JFETs and MESFETs work by channel depletion. The channel is N-type and the gate is P-type for JFETs and metal for MESFETs. The FET structure are well suited for microwave applications because all contacts are on surface to keep parasitic capacitance small. The cutoff frequency is mainly determined by the transit time of the electron under the gate. Thus, short gate length, which means that which is less than 1 micrometer, are used. Coming to the power devices. The power devices consist of a number of MESFETs in parallel with air grids connecting the source. The gallium aspirin MESFET devices are used in low noise amplifiers, LNAS, Class C amplifiers, oscillators, and monolithic microwave integrated circuits. Coming to the performance of gallium aspirin FET, which is determined primarily by the gate width and length. The planar structure of a MESFET makes it straightforward to add a second gate which can be used to control the amplification of transistor. The dual gate MESFET can be used as a mixer and for control purpose. Coming to applications, the applications include heterodyne mixers and amplitude modulations of oscillators. The MOSFET has highly insulating silicon diode, the layer between the semiconductor and the gate. However, the silicon MOSFET are not really considered microwave transistors. Compared with the gallium aspirate MESFET and MOSFET have lower electron mobility, larger parasitic resistance, and higher noise levels. And also, since the silicon substrate can be made semi-insulating, larger parasitic capacitance result. The MOSFETs therefore do not perform very well above 1 GHz. Below this frequency, the MOSFETs find application mainly as radio frequency power amplifiers. A disadvantage of the MESFET is that the electron mobility is degraded since electrons are scattered by the ionized impurities in the channel. By using the heterojunction consisting of N-type aluminum gallium aspirin with undoped gallium aspirin, the electrons move from aluminum gallium aspirin to the gallium aspirin, and which forms a conducting channel at the interface. The electrons are separated from the donors and have the mobility associated with undoped material. A heterojunction transistor made in this fashion has many different names: high electron mobility transistor, two-dimension electron gas FET, modulation doped FET, selectively doped heterojunction transistor, and heterojunction FET. All these are fashion. Many names we have for heterojunction transistors. So the high electron mobility transistors HEMT has high power gain at frequency of 100 GHz higher with low noise levels. A monolithic microwave integrated circuits MMIC can be made using silicon or gallium aspirin technology with either BJTs or FETs. For high frequency applications, gallium arsenide FETs are the best choice. A MMIC has both the active and passive devices fabricated directly on the substrate. MMIC are typically used as low noise amplifiers, as mixers, as modulators in frequency conversion, in phase detection, and as gain block amplifiers. Silicon MMIC devices operate in the 100 MHz to 3 GHz frequency range. And the gallium arsenide FET MMICs are typically used in applications above 1 GHz. Coming to active microwave diodes. Active microwave diodes differ from passive diodes in that they are used as signal source to generate or amplify microwave frequencies. This includes step recovery, tunnel, gun, avalanche, and transit time diode such as impactor, avalanche and transit time, trapped plasma avalanche trigger transit time, barrier injection transit time, and quantum well injection transit time diodes. So all this will going to include step recovery. A step recovery diode is a special PN type in which charge storage is used to produce oscillations. When a diode is switched from forward to reverse bias, it remains conducting until the stored charge has been removed by recombination or by the electric field. A step recovery diode is designed to sweep out. A step recovery diode is designed to sweep out the carriers by an electric field before any appreciable recombination has taken place. Thus, the transition from the conducting to the non-conducting state is very fast, on the order of picoseconds, because of abrupt step. This current is rich in harmonics, so these diodes can be used in frequency multipliers. For microwave power generation or amplification, a negative differential resistance NDR, a negative differential resistance characters at microwave frequencies is necessary. A negative differential resistance is phenomena that occur when the voltage and current are 180 degrees out of phase. Sorry for the disturbance. So the NDR is a dynamic property occurring only under actual circuit conditions. What are the actual conditions means? It is not static and cannot be measured with an ohm meter. Transport electron device such as gun diodes and avalanche transit time devices which are used for NDR for microwave oscillations and amplifications. The TEDs and avalanche transit time devices today are among the most important classes of microwave solid state devices. The tunnel diode uses the tunnel diode uses the tunnel diode uses a heavily doped PN junction resulting in an extremely narrow junction that allows electrons to tunnel through the potential barrier at near zero applied voltage. This results in a dip in the current voltage characteristic which produces NDR. Because of this is a majority carrier effect. The tunnel diode is very fast, permitting response in the millimeter wave region. The tunnel diodes produce relatively low power, which was the first semiconductor device type found to have NDR. The avalanche diode are junction devices that produce a negative resistance by appropriately combining impact avalanche breakdown and charge carrier transit time effect. The avalanche breakdown in semiconductors occurs if the electric field is high enough for the charge carrier to acquire sufficient energy from the field to create electron hole pairs by impact ionization. The avalanche diode is PN junction diode which reverse biased into the avalanche region. By setting the DC bias near the avalanche threshold and superimposing on this an alternating voltage, the diode will swing into avalanche conditions during alternate off cycles. The whole electron pair generate as a result of avalanche action make up the current with the holes moving into the P region and the electrons in the N region. The carrier have relatively large distance to travel through the depletion region. At high frequencies, where the total time lag for current is comparable with the period of voltage, the current pulse will lag the voltage. By making the drift time of the electrons in the depletion region, which is equals to 1/2 of the period of voltage, the current will be 180 degrees out of phase. This shift in phase of the current with respect to the voltage produces NDR, so that diode will undergo oscillations when placed in a resonance circuit. A gun diode is typically an N-type compound semiconductor, such as gallium arsenide or indium phosphate, which has a conditioned band structure that supports negative differential mobility. Although this device is referred to as gun diode after its inventor, the device does not contain a PN junction diode or a PN junction and can be viewed as resistor below the threshold electric field. For applied voltages that produce electric field below E threshold, the electron velocity increases as the electric field increases according to the Ohm's law. For applied voltages that produce electric field above the threshold voltage, the conduction band electrons transfer from a region of high mobility to low mobility. Hence, the general name is transferred electron device. The electrons will be moving from high mobility to low mobility. Hence, the general name for that is transferred electron devices. Beyond the E threshold, the velocity suddenly slows down due to the significant electron transfer to a lower mobility band product producing NDR. For gallium aspirin, the E threshold is about 3 kilowatts per centimeter. The gun effect can be used up to about 80 gigahertz for gallium aspirin and 160 gigahertz for indium phosphate. We have two more separations are commonly. So known as resonant bulk and resonant limited space charge accumulation. Impact, avalanche and transit time diodes are NDR devices. Those two devices that are operates by a combination of a carrier injection and transit time effect. There are several versions of impact diodes, including simple reverse biased PN diodes. We have complicated reverse bias multi-doped PN layer diodes and reverse bias PN diodes. So the impact must be connected to a resonant circuit, that impact maker. At bias turn on, the noise excites the tuned circuit into a natural oscillation frequency. This voltage acts algebraically across the diode's reverse bias voltage. So near the peak positive half cycle, the diode experiences impact avalanche breakdown. When the voltage falls below the peak value, the avalanche breakdown cases. A 90 degrees shift occurs between the current pulse and the applied voltage in the avalanche process. We have 90 degrees phase between the current pulse and the applied voltage way in the avalanche process. A further 90 degrees phase shift occurs during the transit time. So the overall phase shift is 180 degrees. You need to remember. This will be produced from NDR. So the impact, an impact oscillator has higher output power than a gun equivalent. However, the gun oscillator is relatively noise free, while the impact is noisy due to avalanche breakdown. A trapped plasma avalanche trigger transit time diode is basically TRAPACT. You need to call TRAPACT. Trapped plasma avalanche trigger transit time. Trapped diode is basically a modified impact diode in which the holes and electrons created by impact avalanche ionization multiplication do not completely exit from the transit domain of the diode during the negative half cycle of the microwave signal. These holes and electrons from a plasma which is trapped in the diode and participates in producing a large microwave current during the positive half cycle. These holes and electrons form a plasma which is trapped in the diode and participates in producing a large microwave current during the positive half cycle. We have a barrier injection transit time diode, which means that BARIT is basically an impact structure that implies a Saki barrier which formed by a metal semiconductor contact instead of a PN junction to create similar avalanche electron injection. We have a variety of approaches have been investigated to find alternative methods for injecting carriers into the drift region without relying on the avalanche mechanism, which is inherently noisy. We have a quantum well injection transit time diodes, which employs resonant tunneling through a quantum well to inject electrons into the drift region.